how you start a game. MISL fans, good night and welcome into the On-Center War Memorial Arena. It's game one of the semifinals between Syracuse and Baltimore. The Silver Knights are in the playoffs for the first time in their history. Hello, friends. Thanks for spending your time with me. I'm John Paul Chunga with my broadcast partner, Mike Kerps. And Mike, how long has this organization waited to hear that they would be hosting the very first MISL playoff game?
Well, this has been 3 years exactly, so almost to the day. So, and I know that Tommy Tanner was talking about the franchise a year before the league was even started. So this has been long awaiting for Tommy Tanner, and he is so excited, and the team is so excited to be in the playoffs, but they can't get overexcited. They got to really pull back a little bit and focus on what is going on. It is playoff soccer, and it's a lot different than the regular season. They had the Lancers. Last game really did not mean a lot. Same thing with the Baltimore Blast. They're playing against a team with a lot of experience in the playoffs, and it's going to be tough. The Silver Knights only have one player that's ever played in the playoffs in the MISL, and that's Michelle Millwood playing against his former team, the Baltimore Blast.
Storylines galore in this one. The Baltimore Blast coming in at 17-3, the number one team in MISL, riding a 9-game winning streak. And like you said, that playoff experience with 14 players on the roster coming from last year's championship team. And if you start with these storylines, you got to start with the fact that Michelle Millwood's playing his old team, 4-time champion with the Blast.
That is a storyline, but Michelle Millwood, to him, it doesn't matter who he's playing. He knows what team he's playing for. He has been a leader on this team, and in the locker room, on the field, off the field, the team is just looked up to Michelle Millwood the entire year. He doesn't care who he's playing. All he knows is his team's in the playoffs, and he wants to get to the finals. And that's what Michelle Millwood's goal is. It's not to beat the Baltimore Blast. It's to get the Silver Knights into the finals.
We'll have to go through the defending MISL Cup champions, as starting with their starting lineup. The Blast are led by head coach Danny Kelly, who turned 45 today, so happy birthday to Danny Kelly, who was named the Coach of the Year back in 2006. Now, they'll be sending out a preferred lineup with Adato Neto, the former Syracuse Salty Dog, and a 3-time champion at the point with Max Ferdinand, Tony Donatelli, JT Noon, Mike Lookingland, all in front of the league's points against leader, William Vanzella, who had 5.57 points against, a modern MISL record. As for the 12-8 Syracuse Silver Knights, they'll be sending out the preferred lineup for Coach Tommy Tanner's bunch. It'll be Michelle Millwood, the ex-Blast player, who's in front with Canardo Forbes and Slavisa Ubiparapovic backing him up, and Bo Yelovic and the captain Nelson Santana in front of Brian O'Quinn's goal.
I mean, right there, you see how much confidence that Brian O'Quinn has in Nelson Santana in holding that ball. Tony Donatelli was right on Nelson Santana. Brian O'Quinn did not back up into that goal position, but he just stayed square, so Nelson Santana had an option.
First shot for the Syracuse Silver Knights right there by the Jamaican Canardo Forbes, who leads this team in goals with 24.
He also leads the league in shots, so it's not surprising that he took a shot there. I mean, Canardo Forbes knows in order to score points in this league, you got to take shots. He's number 2 in the league in points, and that's the main reason why. And he took a little glimpse of the Doug Miller book, where Doug Miller led the league in points and points and shots last year. So that's where Canardo Forbes got it from, and he's had a great season for Tommy Tanner.
Never seen an opportunity he didn't like, as he has 139 shots coming into this game, 140 now. Daru has an opportunity, saved away by Brian O'Quinn.
And you see that ball by Mike Lookingland. I mean, what a great ball. And that's the reason why he's the number 1 defender in points in the league. He's got a lot of assists. He's a team player. He's the captain of his team, and just plays a perfect ball to Daru. And nothing that Daru could do except try to put that one away. And just, I think he took a poor shot. He could have done a lot better with that.
Now it's held up by Pat Healy. Healy takes the shot, and it's blocked away by Slavica Ubiparapovic. Here's the first restart of the game for the Baltimore Blast, something that you always see in the indoor game. Defending your restarts in dead ball situations will be a key. Healy centering it, Zuniga wide and out.
And he struck that one well, and his own man blocked it. A great shot by Zuniga there.
Played ahead, Chantel plays it out. It's on for Diesel. Now far side, Dos Santos. Taken down, and Neto picks up a foul. In the regular season, these two teams met 4 times, with the Syracuse Silver Knights earning the first victory against the Blast in this series. A 9-8 win back on January 19th, with Bo Yelovic scoring the winning goal with 58 seconds to go. Since then, the Baltimore Blast have gone on a 9-game winning streak, taken 3 games in against the Knights, 2 in Baltimore, 1 right here. But all of them have been close. The only lopsided matchup was January 24th, when the Blast won 10-5.
And that's something Danny Kelly's looking at. The only team to beat the Baltimore Blast this season, other than Milwaukee, is the Syracuse Silver Knights. And this is who you have to face in the first round of the playoffs. So that's something that gives confidence to the Silver Knights that they can beat this team. They beat them before. They've kept all close matches against them. And you got Michelle Millwood on your team as well, who's a team that's got experience. And I can't believe that's not a pass back.
Gonna say, he really looked like he found the goalkeeper on a pass back. They allow it. Denzel's allowed to pick it up. It's now held by Lookingland, and to chip in for Adato Neto.
Well, they didn't really allow it. They didn't recognize it, is what I'd like to say sometimes. And that's something that has to be recognized by a referee. You're in the playoffs, and that's something that needs to be called.
Held up by Nelson Santana. Back for O'Quinn. Looks like a giveaway. Neto in space. He scores! The 2014 MISL playoffs begin with Adato Neto scoring. And the Blast are up by 2, 11:07 to go in the first quarter.
And you can see that this is a team that still wants to win playoffs. And you can see the excitement on that team. All the players got together, celebrated together. A great finish by Neto, a bad giveaway by the Silver Knights. I don't think Nelson Santana and Brian O'Quinn should be knocking the ball that simply in the back like that. And really, it's a bad giveaway by Brian O'Quinn. And hopefully the jitters are now out and he gets over it and he starts playing playoff soccer.
It is his very first playoff game, as has to be mentioned again and throughout the night, that this is an unfamiliar situation for the Knights, playing in their franchise's very first postseason match. It's held up by Elenio. On for Bo. Stolen away in the midfield by Zuniga. Zuniga crawling over, gets it wide. Dos Santos, he goes over the top. Just barely missing Brian O'Quinn's frame. And opportunities are abound for the Baltimore Blast. It's held in by Zuniga. His pass across the middle, popped out by Elenio. The Knights are on it, but only momentarily. Now it goes to O'Quinn. Turnover on a long pass. The short, intercepted by Dos Santos, and now to Gonzaga and to Lookingland. Daru taking on the captain, Nelson Santana. Back to his opposite number in Lookingland, the Blast captain in his 9th year with the team. 9:30 to go in game one of the semifinal round as the Blast lead 2-0. Ball played over the top by Healy, and now a goalkeeper distribution for O'Quinn. Long hurl, trying to find Neto, but couldn't come off. Battling with it is Canardo Forbes. It falls for Slav to control. Chantel goes wide for Toby. The second defensive pairing on the field. Toby goes wide and back in front of the Blast bench for Chantel. At the David Buster's Field logo, Forbes. He tried to pass. It was intercepted again. Slide tackle away by Slav. Long ball played into the netting. Frenetic pace so far. Changes for the Knights, as now it's the first defensive pairing in Nelly Santana and Big Bo. He'll be joined by Elanio and Nate Bordeaux, all with the target man, Michelle Millwood. .8:44 to go in the first quarter. The Knights down by 2 after a Dato Neto struck for the first goal with 11 minutes to go. Off the boards, it's left for Elanio, the save by Vanzella.
What a great save by Vanzella. You see how he anticipated that and came right out. He didn't stay on his line. If he stays on his line at all, Elanio has the open goal all to himself, and I think Elanio was surprised how much Vanzella came out on him. Great save by Vanzella, and that's why he's #1 in the league with less than 6 points against per game.
That's an MISL modern day record, as now the ball's played in front. And now the Knights have it. Again, reloading with Bordeaux. Right across the mid-stripe and back to his own yellow line to O'Quinn. Out comes Elanio and Big Bo. In comes Darren, Toby, and Canardo. It's on for Michelle Millwood, trying to get the turn on Looking Land, but Mike gets the better of it.
And I'm sure those guys have a lot of experience playing against each other in training, just not at the intensity level that they're at right now, and that's going to be a heck of a matchup to watch. Michelle Millwood and Mike Lookingland the entire game.
If anyone knows Michelle Millwood and his moves, you got to think it's Mike Lookingland.
Absolutely.
2012 Defender of the Year in the MISL.
I'm pretty confident that he has a good chance to be the 2014 Defender of the Year as well. 58 points on the season. He averages almost 3 points per game, and that's just amazing, amazing stats for a defender.
He's scored 4 goals and have 5 assists against the Syracuse Silver Knights this year, so he's been a killer of Tommy Tanner's team. Ball out of bounds into the Blast bench by Slavisa Ubiparapovic. And at 6:46, that'll take us to our first media timeout. After the first couple minutes of play in the first quarter, the Blast lead by 2. We'll be back with more MISL playoff soccer after this. Back inside the On Center War Memorial Arena for some more playoff soccer, and the game one of the opening semifinal round between the Baltimore Blast and the Syracuse Silver Knights. Adato Neto has put the visitors up 2-0 after a strike with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter in the fourth minute. But since then, the Knights have gotten some great opportunities. Looking at that Corey Elenio strike that Vanzella had to do a diving kick save, keep it out of the net. He's on the ball and gives up to his captain, Santana. Doing the hard work, Zuniga. He gets it, takes a shot, off and saved away by O'Quinn. It's out for a rebound, and Roque takes a blast. It's off the feet of Nelly Santana. Lookingland tried to go on a run, but Big Bo shut the gate.
Good save, great save by Brian O'Quinn, but another giveaway from the back between Santana and O'Quinn. That's a couple too many for Tommy Tanner, I'm sure. You have to have a lot more confidence from your defenders to get the ball out of the back.
Long shot by Michelle. Off the board and chested back to the goalkeeper. Long hurl, trying to find the run of Adato Neto. Two Netos anchoring the target forward position. Here's the Knights version.
And that's two Brazilians that know each other very, very well. You saw Chantel sort of in trouble right there, going up the sideline and pings a ball straight across a Neto coming off the bench. Good ball by Chantel.
Foul right there, and now the Knights have an opportunity at a restart.
Now you talked about set pieces earlier, and this is the difference between creativity between a Baltimore and a Silver Knights. And there needs to be more creativity by the Silver Knights if they're going to get a few of these in the back of the net against Vanzella.
Ubi Parapovic took the blast for his looking for his 17th goal of the year. He get it out of bounds right there. But again, just a shot on goal rather than some creativity. It's turned over. Possibilities here as it goes from Bordeaux to Neto. He takes a half volley. Blocked by the defender, Healy. Falling to the ground, and now Neto will pick up the foul against the Blast defender. But that was an opportunity missed.
And that's unfortunate. You have a 3v1 situation. You can see Nate Bordeaux just shook his head. He knows when you're playing against the Baltimore Blast, you can't let an opportunity like that slip away. And he puts it just a little bit too far in front of Neto. And that was an easy goal for the Silver Knights if they executed it right. Poor initial execution by Nate Bordeaux. He had the ball in the middle as well. He had perfect positioning. And the Blast were in trouble there, and you could have easily seen a 2-2 situation.
Another opportunity where Vanzella pokes it out of the air. Allowed by the officials, saved by him again on a bow blast. It's now on for Dos Santos down the left channel. Can he release the pressure? He can't, and it's knocked away by Bo.
And you had the entire Silver Knights bench up there thinking that that was out of bounds.
Now it's on Michelle Millwood, off the boards. Trying to find a run in the middle. It's held up by Slav. Battling with two Blast defenders. It comes out for Forbes. Out in front, Slav. He's denied again by Vanzella.
Silver Knights are starting to get comfortable. They're starting to play really good soccer. It's unfortunate that Vanzella is on his game as usual for the Baltimore Blast. Unfortunate for the Silver Knights, fortunate for the Blast. Vanzella with some great saves thus far. And the Baltimore Blast going to need that if the Silver Knights keep picking up their game the way that they are.
He has raised his game for sure, and it seems like he's been just waiting for the playoffs, as last year he earned the 2013 championship MVP for this team. And he has two saves early to deny the Knights. Thumped by Elenio. It wheels all the way back for Toby, and he gets it to Corey. Trying to find the run of Neto, but it's not good enough. Cut out by Diesel. Looking Land organizing them, and now the first shift for Levi Wapu. He gives up for JT Noon. Looking Land. Mangione. Wapu. All the way back. Calculated attack by the Blast. Edging in on 2:30 left in the first quarter. Blast up by 2. Ball on by Looking Land. Now it falls to the feet. Rings bar down, no goal. The shot on by Neto. He was looking for his second in the game. He gets the assist though, and Mangione scores it to put the Blast up 4-0.
And you know Neto's coming back to Syracuse saying, listen, I used to be a salty dog. I want to show you guys I still got it. He still got it. And he hits the bottom of the crossbar on that. Ball gets back to him, and he slips it right to Mangione for the finish. The thing was, earlier you saw that the Silver Knights slept on the counterattack there, and you had two guys. You had a Chantel back there almost all by himself, and they have to pay attention to the runners on those counterattacks to make sure they don't get in odd man situations.
Mangione's 11th goal in the campaign, including the regular season. Now the Blast up 4-0.
Mangione having a very good year. He got 28 points on the season, where last year he had 17 in a lot more games than he did this year. So 26 games last year, and then this year, well, he played 20 and 20 actually. He only played 20 games last year. So he's having a better year than he did last year, and that's what you're looking for. Danny Kelly's looking for players like that.
Restart on for the Blast. It's for Looking Land, now Zuniga. The Knights deal with it. Now it's on for Slob. He's in the open space, down the left channel, trying to cut across. Goes all the way through Vanzella's goal and unable to test him.
And I think that's a very, very good call because Uba Parapovic was on 1v1. He was 1v1, and Healy pulled on him just a little bit to slow him down, and that's what caused Ubi Parapovic to slow down, and that's a good 2-minute penalty.
And now it's a chance for the Silver Knights to bring out their #1 power play attack. As Healy heads to the box for 2 minutes, the Knights send out the best team in the MISL on the power play, going 13 for 28 on their opportunities. Good for 46%. It's on for Millwood. He scores! Michelle Millwood finishes against his old team and gives the Knights their first ever playoff goal.
You know what Michelle Millwood said right there? I've been here before. I scored this goal. There's no celebration needed. I'm just going to walk back to the bench because I've been here a million times before. What a great finish. The #1 team in the league. What a good ball by Uba Parapovic. And a header to himself. And that's a goal. And look at him, so nonchalant, calm, cool, collected. What a finish by Michelle Millwood. No one better to score a goal in that first power play than Michelle Millwood. Good ball by Uba Parapovic.
Took all of 10 seconds into the man advantage for the Knights to score. But right there, they give up another one. 1:27 left in the first quarter. And moments after they scored, the Blast go up again by 4.
And that's frustrating if you're Tommy Tanner, exciting if you're Danny Kelly because you bounced right back. I mean, right after. You got to tighten up, and you can see Darren Toby just a little bit loose right there, letting his man get in front of him, but he wasn't the one that scored. I think it was Roque who put that away,
yeah.
And it was, you know, right away you got to bounce back, and every team knows that. After you score, one team's going to be really excited, and the other team's going to say, all right, we're going to take advantage of this, or it's the other way around. You get scored against, you let down a little bit, and then there's another goal right behind it. Baltimore Blast took advantage of the fact that the Silver Knights were excited that they got a goal.
And with 1 minute to go in the first quarter, the Blast up 6-2 after that goal. It's on for Stephen DeRue, cutting in on his left, his shot on. Healy's blast over the top. And now O'Quinn has a distribution with 47 seconds left in the first quarter. Around Dos Santos goes Nelly. Trying to get through Diesel. He can't, and now it's pushed forward for Dos Santos. Off the boards, trying to find a cutting Wapu. It's kicked out, and now a reload for the Blast. 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. Alenio for Bordeaux, and back to their captain. 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Chip ahead, and Looking Land takes it away. Dos Santos, a poor touch, and now 3 seconds to go in the quarter. Looks like that'll be it. The first 15, a lot more scoring than I would think most MISL fans expected. And after 15 minutes of soccer, the Baltimore Blast leads 6-2 behind goals Mangione and Adato Neto. We'll be back with the second quarter and the final quarter of this half. More MISL soccer when we come back after this. Welcome back inside the War Memorial. We're here for the second quarter of action between the Silver Knights and Baltimore Blast. As Baltimore has a 6-2 lead after one quarter of action. Good save by O'Quinn as he dove to his right.
And during that break, Michelle Millwood was really intense in the team circle there and really letting his team have it about, hey guys, we only have one chance. We're going to be in the playoffs once this year, and we got to really take it and do our best. And right now, we're not doing our best.
On for Adato Neto, whose shot is just wide. A blue card waiting for the Knights as Nelson Santana took down Diego Zuniga. There it is, and now it'll be handed out to the league's most penalized player. He'll head to the box for 2 minutes after that sliding challenge on Diego. And now the Knights will be on the man down.
And I mean, he averages a penalty every 2 games, and that's just too much, and that's way beyond anyone else in the league in terms of penalty minutes. And you know, if you're Tommy Tanner, my captain's in the penalty box every other game at least once. You gotta talk to him and say, hey, listen, we gotta change our style of play here.
So it'll bring on the penalty kill for the Knights. Save in front on Max Ferdinand by O'Quinn.
So now you got the #1 penalty killing team in the league at 80%. I'm sorry, the #2 penalty killing team in the league against the #3 power play team in the league. And the Silver Knights scored against the #1 penalty kill team in the league.
They've had 2 shorthanded goals, the Knights, this year. As it's been this group usually on the floor in Manfoot, Bo, Vitali, and Darren Toby rocking the diamond. Almost 1 minute to go in the Nelson Santana penalty. Manfoot still on the floor, as usually it's been Michelle Millwood who comes on these offensive opportunities for the Knights to hold up the ball, be the target man.
And they were telling Manfoot to get off, and I'm kind of confused how you have a 19-year-old making a decision to stay on the field versus putting the veteran Michelle Millwood back onto the field. And that's
ball in front, and it's finished. Max Ferdinand does it. He scores Baltimore's 4th goal, and the Blast are up 8-2. Knights need to wake up.
And that's a poor clearance by Bojelovac there. I mean, the ball just tries to get slipped in here. Jelovac just steps in there, and that's a poor clearance. You gotta have to get that out of the middle of the turf of the field, and for the #2 team in the league, by not a lot, barely behind the Baltimore Blast in penalty kill, that's just not good enough. That's an easy goal when you're down a man.
Now the Blast lead 8-2. After you thought the Knights were back into the ball game through Michelle Millwood's strike at 4-2. Knights have given up 4 straight goals. It's on for Nelson Santana, who gets pushed down, and he's on the ground by Mangione. On for a restart on the yellow line. And now Santana and Elenio flank this ball out. Bordeaux on the right side with Toby, as Neto stands right behind Vanzella, the goalkeeper. He moves out to his left. It's on for Nelly. He takes a blast off the wall and in front. Saved again by the 2013 Championship Series MVP.
And Vanzella just in the right place at the right time. You know, and sometimes people say that's luck or he's just in the right place at the right time. He just tends to know where to go in this game.
Hasn't made a bad move all game. Long pass ahead as Zuniga is the only one chasing it down for the Knights. Battled with O'Quinn, and now it's all the way back for him. Now they call the pass back. And now, ball will go to the top of the D. Shot on by Ferdinand and over the top. Really surprised that the Blast didn't take advantage of that opportunity right there.
Oh yeah, the Silver Knights weren't prepared, and Ferdinand did the right thing by trying to take a quick shot, but he got a little overzealous and got himself under it and leaning back.
Ferdinand looking for his second goal in the game after he scored on the man up. It's on for Ubi Parapovic down the left, cutting into the middle, and his shot rings off of Mike Lookingland, but only to Canardo Forbes. The Knights can reload.
And Mike Lookingland took that attack by Slavisu Parapovic like no problem. I know exactly where you're going. You're going to go to your left side, and he just stepped right in front of it for the block.
Leads the team in blocks, just over 30.
Leads the league in blocks as well, not just the team. And Healy's number 2 in the league in blocks. So you got the number 1 and 2 guy in the league, and that's why this team gives up so little points. Another reason, not just Vanzella. Very strong defense, is not afraid to get in front of the ball and protect their goalie.
101 points through 20 games for about 5 points against per game. This is a stingy defense. Long shot ahead by Gonzaga. It's over the top with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Knights down by 6. 8-2 in the second quarter. Syracuse's lone goal through the feet of Michelle Millwood, the ex-Blast player.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is they played Pennsylvania and the Rochester Lancers 10 times.
What an opportunity developed by Adato Neto right there. Easily saved by O'Quinn as it just went right to him. But you were talking about how they played the Rochester Lancers and Pennsylvania Roar a bunch.
Yeah, they played those teams 3 times, and they only had 3 points against those 2 teams in the 10 games that they played against those teams. Against the rest of the league, they had 7 points against. And normally I'd be like, okay, so they're not performing against the weaker teams in the league, but that's not true. 7 points against average against your Milwaukee, Missouri, St. Louis, and Syracuse. That's still something to talk about.
And the Knights are one of 2 teams to above double digits against this stingy defense. Lookingland had an opportunity in front that went just high of O'Quinn's goal. It's on for Papaleo. He takes a long shot, goes just wide of the goal. Cleared out by Vanzella. Helter-skelter defending right now. It goes through the legs, the Jamaican Forbes. Trying to do it again was Bordeaux, but he couldn't. But the opportunity missed by Papaleo on a really odd turnover at midfield.
And for me, I'd say right place, wrong player, because an experienced player is going to take that in, cut himself inside the defender, and I think LG Papaleo just a little bit too soon, just trying to get himself out, just trying to shoot that ball on the goal right away and just bring it in. It's just you one-on-one with the goalie, get yourself in front of the defender, and you got to do much better with that. And those are those lost opportunities. Let's talk about the Nate Bordeaux one earlier when they were in a 3v1 situation against the Baltimore Blast. When you have those situations, you got to take advantage of them. You're not going to get them a lot against this defense.
Giveaway at in their own third, Gonzaga, but he tosses it out of bounds. And you say LJ Papaleo should cut across the defender. That's because if he takes him down, it's a foul on him, and he's in one-on-one.
Absolutely, and you either get a 2-minute penalty or you get a goal.
A shootout, yeah, or the
and
goal.
A shootout. So there's a lot of opportunities there. So right place, wrong player.
Now it's at top of the D for Nelson Santana. look over it. A restart opportunity. He's flanked to his left by Forbes, Neto to the right by Bo and Michelle Millwood. It goes to Millwood. His shot off of Daru's foot, trying to get the turn on his right foot. He can't. And the lack of creativity on that restart again. Knights ultimately keep the ball. Now it's held up by Toby. Some fighting in the middle between Forbes and Gonzaga. The Blast win out. Go all the way back to their goalkeeper. On ball ahead, taken away, and now the Blast again able to keep possession. Daru's on the ball. The Canadian. Now for Looking Land. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. The Blast up 8-2 in game one of the semifinal round in a best-of-3 game series. Game two will be played on Tuesday in Baltimore. The shot over the top takes us to our immediate timeout in the second quarter. With 6:45 in the second, Knights down by 6. We'll be back for the rest of it after this break. Back inside the War Memorial for the Syracuse Silver Knights and Baltimore Blast in game one of the semifinals. Right now the Knights down by 6. Around 6:30 to go in the second quarter. It's been a 4-0 run by the Blast since Michelle Millwood scored, with just about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. The shot by Bo. It's now on for Millwood. Michelle getting the turn on his left. Gets caught up in the ground, and now he falls. Vanzella's able to scoop it up. It's Donatelli to hold up and back for Looking Land. To the goalkeeper. Chantel making a run. Intercepts. He's got Bordeaux on the far side. It somehow gets through. Nate holds up, though.
Look how quickly all 5 Baltimore Blast players got right back behind the ball after that slide tackle.
So the Danny Kelly system has led them to the league's best defense, just giving up 5 points per game. Clear out for Santana. Long blast over the top. Just 5 yards off of the circle.
And 5 points a game. Let's go back to the stats. All against the teams in the playoffs, they give up 8 points a game. So they do struggle a little bit more. They have more competition against these teams. And then you look at the teams that the other teams, they give up about 2.5 points per game against those teams. All stats are out the window though right now, with an 8-2 advantage.
Ringing off the post, Pat Healy. Another opportunity for the Blast.
The Silver Knights getting some luck too. That's the third one. That's the third shot off the woodwork for the Baltimore Blast. Lookingland, Neto, and now Healy.
It's been a bright start on the step over. Bo beats Gonzaga. Ushio recovers, and now it's on for Santana, whose shot is over the top. And out for a corner restart for the Knights. That ball handcuffed Vanzella. And it leads to this corner kick. Santana will take it with Ubi Parapovic, Millwood, Forbes, and Neto on the floor. With 4:25 left in the second quarter, Knights down by 6. Goes across, Forbes for 3. Can't get it to go, and the pass on for Santana as it looked more like a shot. Either way, it doesn't get on net.
It was definitely a shot by Forbes. Just off target.
Turning blast way over the top by Neto. Caught by a fan right there. Another restart fruitless to test Vanzella's net. As early on, the Blast have the edge in the shots, 14-9 on goal. Push down the line for Zuniga. Guarded by Chantel. He goes back for his captain, Lookingland. Back to the wild-haired Zuniga. Cutting to the middle. Releases wide for JT Noon. Held in there by Tony Donatelli. Reloading for Zuniga. Shadowed and harmed by Neto. Picks up a foul and a restart on the far side. Just behind the yellow line. The foul on Neto. 3:28 to go in the second quarter. Lookingland over it. And they find something now. He's upset. This player is not getting the right movement on that restart. Dos Santos gets the turn, but O'Quinn quick off his line. Avoids a tricky situation. Long blast by Mangione hits Dos Santos in the face. That's gotta hurt.
That hit him square in the face, but he's acting like nothing.
It's on and headed back.
I think the side of his cheek might say MISL. I mean, that ball was on a rope.
He has the ball right now. Back heel trying to find the run of Lookingland. Turning in on his left shot. Just wide of O'Quinn's goal. Papaleo kicks it out. A restart at the top of the arc. Another opportunity for the Blast.
And this is dangerous when you get those intentional, the balls that go out somewhat intentionally, according to the referee, and you knew they were going to call timeout. But when the balls go out there and it get put at the top of the D, that's dangerous, particularly when the Baltimore Blast are on top of the ball.
Knights starting to play with fire right there.
Phone damage? Don't be without your phone. Come to Cell Phones for Less for same-day repair. We fix cell phones, iPads, and iPads. We have the largest selection of new and used phones in upstate New York. Cell Phones for Less in Eastwood and our new location in Destiny, USA.
I'm a hot babe out jogging. I'm out making sure this stays a 10 when you drive by.
Automotive News says the 2014 Silverado gets 5 stars, the top safety rating under the new tougher U.S. requirements. Maximum power meets maximum safety in the all-new Silverado. Now at your Central New York Chevy dealer, cnychevy.com.
The league's #1 against the #4. The defending MISL champions, the Baltimore Blast, taking on the Syracuse Silver Knights here in downtown Syracuse. Knights down by 6, but they've got a dangerous opportunity right here. Lookingland playing it wide to Gonzaga. Defended well by Domenico Vitali as he blocked away the Gonzaga shot.
And I mean, just that one player just showing a feint, that's a little bit of that creativity that you're looking for. Not executed perfect, but still, it's that creativity.
Shot through! Shot in! Lucas Roque. Another goal. And the Blast up 10-2. Questions have to be asked for the Silver Knights team.
And Roque just relentless with his second goal and just reaching for it. And Brian O'Quinn, almost nothing he can do, just coming out as quickly as possible. It goes between his legs. And it's Forbes trying to turn there. Just play simple soccer, maybe lay it back and let Toby clear it.
2:18 to go in the second quarter, and the Knights are down by 8. Knights need a brace. Header out and over the top. Michelle Millwood asking if it go to the top. Looks like it'll just be a restart out in the far corner.
Oh, and they did call it at the top of the D.
They called at the top of the D after the protest by Millwood. And now Santana has an opportunity.
And I'm surprised that Uba Parapovic isn't the guy that's on top of these balls, because he's just so good with putting the ball where he wants.
On for Slav, and he bangs it off another defender. Healy picks up the block. Santana reloads with 2 minutes to go in the second frame. Knights down by 8 and looking for answers. Bo trying to take it on, but Daru was there and equal to the move. He plays it down the line for the 2-goal man in Roque. Center in front. Couldn't find the feet of Ferdinand, but Santana playing it dangerously off the wall. Could have ended up in his own net. Another opportunity for the Blast. Forbes now on it. Knights' most dangerous player statistically. 67 points in the campaign. On for Santana. Trying to turn was Millwood. But Healy again. They'll call a foul right there, as Millwood and Healy were grabbing each other's jerseys. 1:13 to go in the second quarter. Knights wanting to leave this quarter unscathed, at least, and leave this score at least at 10-2. Shot in front by Lookingland, blocked away by O'Quinn. Another opportunity for the captain. He hits it off the barrier, and now it's out in front. Handball by Ferdinand. Santana wanted to get on with it. Pushed off.
And that's great stuff by Neto, but also, again, the Silver Knights just ball watching and letting Lookingland come out as the far side all by himself. Great save by Brian O'Quinn. And I'm almost going to say that was a game-saving save right there, because if they go in there 12-10, 12-2.
Would have been deflating.
Yes, not just deflating. Teams don't score more than 12 points against the Baltimore Blast.
Long shot by Millwood! The answer they needed! Again! He has both goals! The Knights down 10-4 with 42 seconds left in the second quarter.
Wow, can you believe what Millwood puts in that? And you can see that there's so much fire in this guy. He doesn't want to celebrate. He wants to get this game back in hand. And there's no celebration. Let's do business. And that's what he's here to do. He's here to do business. And just laces it. And they're looking at the wall. And you saw someone point to the wall, and it wasn't the wall. The wall wasn't even in the way. I don't think the wall was set up properly.
There was heat behind that shot.
Absolutely, and what the Silver Knights have to do, they have to go in 10-4, hopefully maybe get 10-6, but the last thing they need is another goal scored against here.
Ball can't be collected by O'Quinn. It goes through his legs on a back heel. Fizzes across the goal, but no one was there on the doorstep for the blast. 6 seconds to go as Bo tries to keep it at the 10-4 margin. Long shot in, off the barrier, and after 30 minutes, the Knights down 10-4.
And I think that's the best you can ask for right now with what's been going on. I think some poor defense right now, a couple giveaways in the back have really given the game to the Baltimore Blast to this point. But now the Silver Knights have to do everything that they need to do to go into that locker room and come back out and not give up any more points at this point, because the Blast do not give up more than 12 points most games, almost all games except for one.
Heading into the locker room, if you're Danny Kelly, you got to think that it's about the defense, staying organized, keeping this 10-4 lead.
Yeah, you're just saying we're in good shape, boys. Let's just continue to do what we're doing, and we've got this game. No one scores more than 10 points against us, so we're all set, boys. Let's just continue.
Just two teams have gone into the double-digit margin, the Milwaukee Wave, and who else? The Syracuse Silver Knights against this Baltimore Blast team so far this year. After 30 minutes of soccer, and at the half, the Baltimore Blast lead 10-4 in Game 1 of the MISL playoffs for the semifinals. A championship berth on the line. We'll be back with the final half of this Game 1 after this halftime break. Stay with us. Neto.
Well, they didn't really allow it. They didn't recognize it, is what I'd like to say sometimes. And that's something that has to be recognized by a referee.
He scored! Neto, he was looking for his second in the game. He gets the assist, though, and Mangione scores it to put the Blast up 4-0.
And you know Neto's coming back to Syracuse saying, listen, I used to be a salty dog.
Michelle Mill.
To himself, and that's
One.
the field, and to stay on the field versus putting the veteran Michelle Millwood back onto the field. And but still, it's that creativity.
Shot through.
t-shirt time.
T-shirt time?
It is 12 10.
It's T-shirt time. T-shirt time.
It's t-shirt
Everybody knows it's T-shirt time. T-shirt time. It's T-shirt time. T-shirt time.
It's t-shirt
Everybody knows it's T-shirt time. T-shirt time.
It's t-shirt
Everybody knows it's T-shirt time.
So annoying.
T-shirt time. It's T-shirt time.
Oh my god, shut up now!
T-shirt time. It's T-shirt time. T-shirt time.
It's t-shirt
Everybody knows it's
We are back live inside the War Memorial Arena for the second half of Game 1 of the semifinal round between the Syracuse Silver Knights and the Baltimore Blast. I'm John Paul Chunga. Right now, Syracuse trails Baltimore 10-4 after the first 30 minutes of soccer. Goals to open up a game by Adato Neto, who started the scoring in the 4th minute. Then Baltimore went on another goal streak. Syracuse's Michelle Millwood broke that, made the game 4-2 in that first quarter. But then Lucas Roque scored right back to respond and started a 6-point streak by the Blast, as Michelle Millwood finished off the half scoring. That's how we got to 10-4. Not an unfamiliar situation for the Knights to be down at halftime against the Blast. In the third and fourth games, the Knights were down 8-4 at halftime. Actually up in that third matchup, 8-4. Ended up losing that third matchup 12-10. In the fourth one, 10-9. They'll have to do some coming back right now as they're down by 6, wearing their orange kits, silver trim down the middle, silver numerals, and black on the sleeves. The Blast wearing their primary away kits, the white tops, white shorts, white socks with a red stripe and yellow numerals for them. Syracuse will be attacking from left to right across your screen. It's the third quarter between the Blast and Knights in game 1 of a best-of-3 series in this semifinal. Neto with a goal and assist early on. He held the ball. Now it's on for Noon. Cross pass for Neto. 3 points already. Trying to go behind his legs. A Cruyff turn, and now it's held in by the Blast. Ferdinand, shot on, saved away by O'Quinn. The kick save by Bryant. Still held in by the Blast. Collected by Gonzaga.
That's a great first shift for the Baltimore Blast. Great ball movement. They've really held on to the ball the entire time.
Odd Karam that was right in front for Gonzaga, but he couldn't connect on that ball.
And they still have the ball.
Bounces going the Blast's way.
Not allowing the Silver Knights team to get off the turf. This could be their first opportunity for some changes. And it's another giveaway by Nelson Santana in his defensive third.
He had a key penalty in the first half. Led to a Knights possession that was a penalty kill that turned into 2 Blast points. It's on for Healy. Knights still allowed to get some changes in there, though. As Bordeaux and Elenio jump on with Toby as well. Santana and Papaleo, the only 2 that started the half that are still on the turf. It's on for Wapu. Far side, near side to Dos Santos. Back at the mid-stripe for Healy. Far side to Daru. Shadowed by Bordeaux. Cutting in on his left foot and struck off of Santana. All the way back to the goalkeeper as 12:30 left in the third quarter. Blast lead by 6. Long chip ahead. Flies out of bounds. Now the Knights can have a stint on the ball.
Vanzella just did Nelson Santana a favor there. Santana going on almost a 3-minute shift to start this game. And 3 minutes of just pure defending.
Now the Knights looking for an attack with Darren Toby and Chantel on as the defensive pairing. Long chip ahead to no one in particular. Looked like he was trying to connect with Ubi Parapovic, but Looking Land cut it out. It's all the way back in a turnover now. Dealt well by the Blast, and now it's all the way back for O'Quinn. Poor giveaway as it's now on for Ferdinand. Cutting into the center. Trying to go wide to Zuniga. It was Ferdinand, and he couldn't link up with him. Still, the Blast have the ball and can pressure the Knights. Right in front of the bench, it's Neto. Gives it up, and now Toby's on the ball, but his pass ahead for Ubi Parapovic was soft. Forbes in the attacking half. And now the Knights finally can get a spell of possession. Comes with less than 11 minutes left in the quarter. Uba Parapovic trying to go into Bo. Bo gives it wide, and Slav will take a shot. Rings off the top of the bar as the save was on by Vanzella. That was another heater from the Knights.
Wow, what a shot by Slavisa Uba Parapovic.
Another one by Santana, but at Ubi Parapovic's chance. That was a good one.
Rookie of the year 2 years ago. struggled a little bit in what you would call possibly a sophomore slump. But this year, with a little bit of an injury to his back, has really started to turn it up as the season started to progress. And that was just unlucky for him, but we've seen 3 of those for the Baltimore Blast as well. Shots going off the woodwork.
Lolly popped it over the top. Canardo can't finish. Vanzella equal to the task. He takes another shot just wide. It's still on for the Knights.
And that's who the Silver Knights really need to start heating up, and that's Canardo Forbes. And you can see he's starting to get a little bit of space.
Starting to
getting a couple shots.
Get acclimated to the game. Foul right there on Neto. He took out Santana, and a restart for the Knights. Looks like it'll be placed just inside of the three-point line. No, they move it out.
And again, Santana's the guy on top of the ball, and you have Uba Parapovic on the field. So I don't know why Santana's the guy on the ball.
They'll take it anyway. Right behind the three-point line to Toby. 4 shot, just wide. Looked like it beat Vanzella, but it didn't beat the target.
And I think that surprised everyone, including me and the Baltimore Blast, because that's not the guy that's normally going to get the ball off of a set piece, is Darren Toby. And he almost put one into the upper 90 there for the Silver Knights.
Just 2 goals on the year. You don't expect that from the Trinidadian.
And both those goals came in one game.
Against the Pennsylvania Roar. He's used to this right here defending. He gives it away though. Opportunity developed, and Chantel goes to the ground as he took the block. Manfoot on the end of it. He's battling with Healy, doing well to keep the ball. Picked up, and now Healy gets it only to Elanio. He's on the ball, the ex-Columbus Crew player. Spent time with them back in 2008. Manfoot, the 19-year-old. Reloads for Toby, and now to Santana. He'll get the ball back though. Antonio trying to make a clever turn away on a Blast defender, but it didn't come off as Dos Santos helped on the defense. Changes for the Blast and Knights as Looking Land jumps on the field. Syracuse down by 6 in the third quarter. Long pass ahead. It's on for Ferdinand. He goes off the carom, trying to find a cutting player. Doesn't come off. JT Noon in for, looked like Roque, and the save by O'Quinn. The header didn't have enough speed on it to beat him. Millwood on the other end trying to connect with his goalkeeper. Couldn't, and it's snatched out of the air. Diagonal pass for Zunaga. Doesn't come off, and Ubi Parapovic collect.
And Roque's having a very, very good game tonight. Getting himself in the right places at the right times. Got himself 2 goals. I mean, even there, he's had quite a few opportunities on Brian O'Quinn that Brian O'Quinn's had to save.
Odd man rush. Opportunities here. It's Lucio Gonzaga. Scuffs it.
And lucky for the Silver Knights, Gonzaga did not take that one well enough. I mean, that's a one-touch shot, open net. And he let Brian O'Quinn get back across the goal to make that save.
Knights starting to play with fire here. Another giveaway. Daru cut out by O'Quinn again, but the Blast are able to get right back on the ball. Held by Neto. He's battling with Elanio. Quick turn, but he can't evade.
Neto's just so strong with the ball at his feet, shielding players off.
And deceptively quick when he does those turns.
And I can't believe they made that call.
Quick restart! Quick goal! Steven Daru scores it.
That smart play by Neto. Silver Knights fall asleep. Referee's reaching into his pocket. I don't know if he's looking to pull a 2-minute.
Giroux with just his second goal on the year. The Knights were complaining about the call, and Giroux just finished it.
Well, I think they're talking about the placement of the ball and was the ball still moving after Neto put it down to play. And you can see Tommy Tanner is absolutely fired up about guys not being focused. And he's saying, come on, guys, let's go.
Well, it almost looked like Neto was eaten up by the turf monster. It didn't look like Chantel touched him, and he just took a tumble, and then they called the foul.
He bought the call, really. I mean, he started the fall. He got caught by the turf, started the fall, and he just leaned into Chantel a little bit. Could have been called a foul easily, and the refs called it. You got to be ready right away, get in front of that ball. Don't fall asleep, don't start arguing the call until that play stopped again. Very smart, heady play by Neto there.
So Giroux scores his second goal, and now the Blast up by 8. It's on and in for Dos Santos. A save on for O'Quinn. Dos Santos again on the ball with Nelson Santana defending. Battling in the corner right there for a good 10 seconds. Now it wheels out into more open spaces. Far corner for Dos Santos now. Reloading for Healy. Diesel. Healy at the mid-stripe. Trying to go to Donatelli. Neto on the ball right now. A guy we haven't called out much in this game. He quickly gives it away.
So for me, stats start to play a little bit of a role here.
Shot on and way over the top.
Only one team scored 12 points against the Baltimore Blast this year, and that's the Milwaukee Wave, and one of their wins against the Baltimore Blast. And the Silver Knights have only averaged 8 points per game against the Baltimore Blast, 10 being their most. So this is gonna be a big feat for the Silver Knights to come back in this one.
Need to do it right now. It's a ball in front, laid back and on, deflected by O'Quinn. Still the opportunity to present itself. In the corner for the Blast. Battling with two Silver Knights. It's out in front for Millwood to bring in his own offensive zone. With Wapu defending. He does well and takes it off of the Jamaican's foot. Battle in the midfield. Foul right there on Canardo, taking down Roque. Uba Parapovic right now. Another giveaway. Neto gets by Santana. He's one-on-one, cutting in front, just over the top.
Roque and Neto, for me right now, players of the game, and I think they're battling each other. Neto, the all-around player with a couple assists, a goal, a couple shots off the woodwork. Giving guys opportunities like that. Gave the one the Looking Land earlier as well. Doing stuff like this, just holding guys off, setting them up, being that target forward, that traditional target forward that you see in the indoor game. And that's been Neto tonight. One of the best games I've seen him play in quite a long time.
Really active stuff by the Baltimore's Neto. He has a goal and an assist. Long pass ahead to him. Traps it down! Finishes it off! Silence in the War Memorial. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Neto has his second. The Blast are up by 10.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. I mean, I just called it out. Nelson Santana giving Neto just a little bit of too much room. Vanzella plays a perfect ball, and how about that? Vanzella playing the perfect ball right here. Santana just giving Neto just a little bit too much room. Right off the chest, one times it.
Bad giveaway right there.
What a great goal by Neto, taking advantage of Brian O'Quinn sitting a little bit too far back, and Santana really giving him a little bit too much room.
Knights better be worried they don't let this game get out of hand.
And some might say, why isn't Nelson Santana goal side? In the indoor game, you got to trust your goalie to get some balls that are a little bit too high. So Santana, so as a defender, you stand in front of that target forward. But in that case, Vanzella played almost a perfect ball right to Neto's chest. And Neto turns great on that. What a good finish. And we were just talking, is it Roque or Neto? For me, Neto's just having a phenomenal game.
Just distancing himself with that second goal. He's got that too. And the assist. Well, Roque just the 2 goals. And I say just. Cheekily. The blast up by 10. Forbes will wind up and strike. Bo will collect it on the rebound. Knights needing something right here. Chip in for Neto. Manfoot collects it again. Long shot and over and out. 2:29 left in the third quarter.
I mean, before tonight, I mean, Neto averaging about 1.5, 1.6 points per game, a little bit above 1.6, and tonight he's got 6 points. Just a great stuff by Neto tonight.
Foul right there, out of the 3-point line and just in front of the yellow. Santana again will step over it. The 2-man wall. The captain approaches and shoots it through! That's what they need! They get it from the captain!
Well, I got to tell you something. Santana just shut me up because I've been all over it. Why isn't Ubi Parapovic or someone else on that turf, on the turf, on top of that ball? Nelson Santana just really shut me up because what a ball placed right into the upper 90 around that wall, and Vanzella didn't see it. Great finish by Nelson Santana. It's a good 3-pointer. And you got to see if the Silver Knights can take that momentum right now into the fourth quarter. Maybe get themselves one more before the end of the quarter here.
Neto getting through a defender. It's on for Wapu. Smart cutaway by Elenio as that was a necessary intervention. He had Looking Land on the far side. The lead cut in half with that goal is now the Blast up 14-7. The corner held up by Millwood. He's double teamed by Neto. Some of the turf starting to creep up. Now it's in the corner. Bo cuts it out. He's starting to go on a run, trying to get it through for Forbes. He can't. Bordeaux, some more work right there. Santana muscled off the ball, and Dos Santos picks up the foul. Just in front of the referee's circle. 1:20 left in the third quarter. The Knights down by 7. He tried to blast it off to Vanzella's goal, and it just hit off of Dos Santos. Again, Santana into the corner for Millwood. Zuniga coming in for the double team. Vanzella knocked out only to Bo. Millwood turns in front, nobody on the run. Bordeaux takes a shot, flies way up high and into the netting. .55 seconds left in the third quarter. It's held by Ferdinand and out of the Noon, who knocks it in for Roque. battling with Santana. He's been quite the pest for the Silver Knights in this game. He's still harassing Santana, who has to use his goalkeeper. Knights starting to get on the ball, and now a long pass for Neto. Double teamed and trying to get through Looking Land, but with 10 seconds to go. Chantel trying to wind up. It's on for Toby. Back to Chantel. 5 seconds. Toby. Uba Parapovic, wild shot. And into the net. Kind of how that third quarter went for the Knights. Baltimore went on a 4-3 run in this quarter. They extend their lead to 14-7. 1 quarter to go in game 1 between these two sides. A championship spot on the line in the best-of-3 series in the semifinals. We'll be back with the final quarter on YouTube after this. Back inside the War Memorial for the final quarter in Game 1. The MISL semifinals between the Syracuse Silver Knights and the Baltimore Blast. John Paul Chunga alongside Mike Kerms. The Knights down 14-7 with 15 minutes to go in regulation. A key goal by Nelson Santana at the end there brought the Knights to that 7 mark after it looked like they were down and out. Syracuse will be attacking from left to right across your screen in the orange kits. The Blast in their white with the red stripe across the front of the jersey. That pass out and erratic over the top into the netting. Neto, who has 2 goals in the game and an assist. Couldn't control it there. It's on for Millwood. He gets dragged down by Healy.
And for me, that's a 2-minute penalty because Millwood's about to shoot that one, and Healy pulled him down clearly as Millwood's about to shoot, and he had a clear shot on frame.
Really surprised he didn't get
And
that.
I'm surprised he doesn't pull the 2-minute blue card on that one.
He had that opportunity on that quick turn. Beat Healy.
And this has to go to Canardo Forbes.
It's on Millwood. Shot just wide, and it almost fell for Uber Parapovic. Forbes will try to collect. Daru digging it out.
You know, it's a lot easier from here to watch it from here, but Canardo Forbes was was the better option there, and that's what you need from like a Nelson Santana to see that. But it's, I mean, I know I've been on the field before. It's tough to see from here. It's so easy, and Canardo Forbes was just so on that set piece.
Want to see him score in this ball game. But Baltimore has been a tricky outfit for Canardo this year. Just 2 goals against the Blast in their 4 meetings. So on the far side, Santana, who's taken a long shot. Skeetered off of Max Ferdinand, and Forbes will reload to Toby.
Well, I mean, Danny Kelly's smart man. He knows, listen, if we can take the guy out of the game that has 67 points on the season, okay, we're going to eliminate a lot of the points from this team. So let's try to hone in on Canardo Forbes. Don't let him score. And let's make the other guys start to participate in the scoring. Which, don't get me wrong, Uber Parapovic, Neto, Santana, they all have a good amount of points this season.
It's been Michelle Millwood in this game so far. Wow, what a shot by Looking Land. It somehow couldn't find the back of the net. Looked like O'Quinn got a touch.
Actually, I think it hit off the backside of someone.
Slavisa Ubi Parapovic had a 1v1. Tried to go around him. Couldn't get past Vanzella. That was an opportunity right there that presented itself to the Serbian. The Bosnian, rather.
And again, right there for me, right guy, right time. And he doesn't, and that's the type of night it's been for the Silver Knights.
Just off on their strikes. It's on for Neto. Gets just clambered down by Dos Santos. Right outside of the yellow line. Dos Santos just ate him up.
Neto's a smart player. He got himself in front of the defender and just slows down just that little bit, where Dos Santos really has no choice but to run over him. Exactly how it looks. And getting some of these free kicks is exactly what the Silver Knights want.
Forbes will take the shot. Rings high above Vanzella's goal and goes out of bounds. 13-10 in the 4th quarter. The Blast up 14-7. Ball out in front, but it's not taken away by Roque. Santana feeds to Bordeaux. If he uses speed, they might have an opportunity. Gets fouled in the process as the Blast are starting to pick up those fouls. Santana wheels it for Elenio. He's got Neto in front of him. Uses Santana, who takes a shot from distance, and it's high over the top. Trying to catch the Knights right now, it's Roque on. He had Donatelli cutting into the middle. Down goes Roque, and it'll be a foul and a dead ball situation right in the near side corner. Looking Land will stand over this dead ball. He'll approach, he'll strike and fizz it across O'Quinn's face. Bode trying to dig it out, disappointed that he couldn't get that ball out and into offense. Flies out of bounds, and now the Knights will have it. Into the near corner for Millwood. Michelle trying to get that turn, and Benzella came off his line to intercept and kick it out. Ferdinand lofts it into the Knights' defensive zone, and Toby will chop it up. Thump to no one by O'Quinn. And the Blast are on the ball.
Brian O'Quinn usually a lot better with his feet, and tonight I think he's just been struggling. Some giveaways down the center of the field. Couple balls going out of bounds like the one we just saw. Great shot stopper, a lot better with his feet than you've seen tonight.
Uba
Right.
Karpovic. Another giveaway, and now goes to Toby.
And when you're in the playoffs playing against the Baltimore Blast, you have to be on as the goalkeeper. 100%. Brian O'Quinn's first playoff. Maybe nerves have got the best of him thus far.
Vanzella certainly has been on in this game. He's got a shot from Forbes to face. Goes just wide of his target. Now to Santana. In the 5th minute of the 4th quarter, that shot way high. And now on a change, Vanzella lofts it ahead.
And that's, I think, way too many men there for the Silver Knights. And that was a poor change. Poor change, and you saw there was at least 6 men, if not 7, on the field during that change. Wish we could see the replay on that one.
Hand out the blue card. Tommy Tanner still arguing it. But it did seem like they had way too many men on the field on that sloppy change. Men were flying off and on. Looks like they handed out penalties to both teams. So 1 man each in the box.
For me, it almost looked like there were too many men for Baltimore. I was just looking on the field, and it just looked like complete mayhem. And I'm like, okay, what happened on 5v5? There was definitely at least 6 guys for the Silver Knights on the field at one point during that changeover.
Tommy Tanner and Joe Papaleo arguing that there were also 6 Blast players. Looks like they'll get it, as players from both teams will sit in the box for 2 minutes. The officials still talking it over with Tommy Tanner and Joe Papaleo.
And Tommy Tanner is furious right now. He really thinks that he had he's thinking that his guys were past that dotted line. As long as the players are over that white dotted line and within the box area, then they're considered off the field, and they're making that attempt to get off the field at that time. A player can come on as that's happening. That's what I believe he's arguing, but from my perspective, it looked like they had too many men on the field.
After all that, LJ Papaleo and Diego Zuniga will sit in the box for 2 minutes, both of them. So we'll play 4-on-4 field players. 10:30 to go in the 4th quarter. Millwood falls to the ground as Lookingland had a nice chunk of the jersey in his hand.
DeSanto's frustrated, but he's got a lot of penalties tonight.
4v4 soccer.
But does a great job. You'll see Michelle Millwood gets the ball here. earlier there was a 2v2. They double teamed them, and right there again they double teamed Michelle Millwood.
Almost a triple team too.
And this is a great matchup right here. Canardo Forbes and Max Ferdinand, two of the best midfielders in this league.
Donatelli tried to get through Santana. He couldn't. The captain closed the gate, and with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Knights down by 7.
And if you're the Silver Knights right now, try to keep this team of the Baltimore Blast on the field.
Chantel in front, can't redirect it on frame.
Don't let them come off for the next 50 seconds. Get them tired. Make the changes you need to make.
Millwood back, posting up on that defender and trying to get some layoffs for other players.
And you'll see Looking Lanks trying to get off. Ferdinand's getting off.
It's on for Gonzaga, cutting in on his right, blocked away by Toby. Now Looking Land will have it with less than 30 seconds left on the penalties for LJ Papaleo and Diego Zuniga. Roque will have it, shadowed by Chantel. Back for Looking Land, who lets it go through, and now 5 seconds left on the penalties. Both players come on as Zuniga and LJ Papaleo are allowed on the turf. A foul by Roque gives the ball back for the Knights. They'll have it. Needing some precious points in this game 1 of a best of 3 series between Baltimore and Syracuse. 8:30 left in the fourth quarter. Bo driving down the right channel, trying to play it ahead for Uber Barapovic. Ball's thumped away and out of bounds. It'll go for a restart. Santana stands over. Approaches. Rips it on frame, but it's just wide. Zuniga battling with Bo. Loses out. We'll go to O'Quinn with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Neto cushions the ball. Able to hold on Healy. Santana goes wide for Slav. Cutting pass, but it's eaten up by Vanzella. Daru goes through the legs of Neto and picks up a foul on the Brazilian. He's been quiet tonight. He's been pretty loud during the season with 12 goals and 13 assists. Just been clamped down by this Blast defense that is the #1 in the league. Donatelli has it. Gives it back for Looking Land. Just trying to ice off this last 7 minutes of the ball game. Trying to link up with Neto. Long curl by O'Quinn, and again, ball's turned over. Knights need to do some work on their possessions that they'll be getting in this game, as time is against them. Chantel ahead for Forbes. On one bounce, takes the shot just over the top. Forbes can't finish.
And we saw that the other night as well against the Pennsylvania Roar. That's 3 breakaways now that the Silver Knights have really had a great chance, and they didn't take the opportunity to finish. and that's Bernardo Forbes. So now you went from LJ Papaleo, next guy was Uba Parapovic. Now Forbes had that opportunity, 1v1, and he tries to put it through the net versus just taking him one-on-one and just placing it somewhere.
Santana being harassed by Neto. Really surprised that Neto didn't get that blue card right there, as it's been something of the league to cut out those kicking the ball away.
Yeah, and the ref even said something to Neto, and that's a surprise. He's got to give 2 minutes. They've been doing it all season.
It hasn't been a warning all season. It's been a blue card.
It's been a direct blue card. And the ref, that's you got to give the 2-minute penalty, and Santana has the right to argue that.
Furious decision right there. 5:40 to go in the game now. The Knights need a goal to start the comeback. Down by 7. Wapu somehow gets the turn on. Bo.
3v2.
Trying to go wide, but Looking Land, he's seen a lot of moves and takes it away.
Yeah, he's a veteran. He knows exactly where it's going, but that's a bad mistake by Looking Land.
Forbes on it. Couple step overs. He has a shot on. Saved away by Vanzella. He's come up huge for this team.
And it's kind of hilarious just watching Vanzella how he makes a save, and the way he just cheers himself on. He got up with a fist pump right there.
He is slamming the door shut.
I mean, if you recall last time also, sorry to interrupt, but after they won that game, I mean, he came out cheering and sprinting like they won the World Cup. But, hey, that's his mentality. Part Brazilian, part Italian, dual citizenship.
All excited. 5:02 left in the fourth quarter. It's the business end of this game. The Knights need to start scoring some goals. Get back into it, otherwise it's a tough task to win in Baltimore. Something that they haven't done this campaign.
Danny Kelly you could see he's talking the entire time. He's like, let's lock this up. 14-7, stay tight on defense. Do not give up another goal. Do not give them the confidence that they can get back into this.
It'll be a restart to bring us back on the far corner side. 5:02 left in the fourth quarter. Tommy Tanner sends out Nelson Santana, Slavisa Ubi Parapovic, Bernardo Forbes, Michelle Millwood, and Neto. Starting to play with just one natural defender. And it's Santana, the captain. Whacks it off the boards, an odd carom. Neto's able to collect it, but it's lofted all the way down for O'Quinn. Long loft ahead, a 3-line pass. It'll go to the yellow line in the Knights' own defensive end. When's the time for Tommy Tanner to think about that extra attacker?
It's getting pretty close, but Tommy Tanner's style, seeing that he's 7 points down, he's starting to talk about it right now.
On shot, and the icer! It's gotta be. Mike Lookingland finishes it off. A shot out of nowhere, and the 3-point blast puts them up 17-7.
You know, you were starting to ask yourself, when was Mike Lookingland going to be getting on the score sheet tonight? And that was it right there. And just with that left peg, 3-point, no doubt. And if you look back, that all started by a really a mistake by Canardo Forbes hitting that three-line pass that brought that ball back to this end, and the Silver Knights were starting to put pressure on the Baltimore Blast right after that timeout. And then you do that three-line pass. You have possession of the ball. You've got one defender on the field. We're going to start pressing right here. 4 attack players, and then you kick that three-line pass, giving them a set piece. A very talented team on set pieces. Mike Lookingland just lethal with that left foot into that side netting.
And he's been lethal against the Knights this year. 5 goals and now 5 assists against the Syracuse Silver Knights. Now their 5th game playing each other. During that break, Vittorio Petrera decided to jump in to the locker room trying to find that extra attacker jersey, you would think. And now this game 1 starting to get a little tricky. The Blast up 17-7. In runs Petrera. Handing the extra attacker jersey to Canardo Forbes. Looks like it's that time.
It is that time, but I think it's a huge task. And I hate to be a non-believer, but I don't believe they can do it. 10 points in 4.5 minutes against the Baltimore Blast. 10 points against a team that rarely gives up 10 points in a whole match.
It's always been a little up against it for the Knights, playing the best team in MISL in the 2014 campaign. The league's leaders, the champions, with the league's best defense. It'll always be a tough outfit. Tackle on by Healy, but wow, Millwood's down on the ground. This does not look good.
He's fine. He's fine. It was a, Healy's saying all ball, but it's a bad tackle from behind, and he knows it just as well. He's so angry with himself. Everything the Silver Knights have to do here has to be perfect. And they were knocking that ball around the top there. Perfect. Pinging the ball around, and Millwood is just about to start bringing that ball forward. And although he's limping right here, he's not coming off. He's going to walk it off. And right here you can see Healy comes in from behind. 2-foot tackle is really what the call was there. Just dangerous, reckless tackle by Healy.
He'll sit in the box for 2 minutes as the Knights have a power play opportunity. Millwood takes a shot, bounces off the barrier and out. .409 to go in the 4th quarter. Blast up by 10. The most points that the Blast have put up on the Knights this year at 17. Their largest total before that was a 12-10 win against Syracuse. Now the Knights need to do some scoring of their own. Santana to Millwood, his shot flies out and over the top of the netting. Did not get a good connection right there. But it's been quite the performance by this Blast team. Especially when you look at the play of Baltimore's Neto, the defense led by Mike Lookingland, and the brilliant saves by Vanzella. Still the Knights press on. It's chipped out, and with 1 minute left on the penalty, 3 minutes left in the game, the Knights still down by 7.
The #1 team in the league for the power play against the #1 team in the league for the penalty kill.
Bo spinning it across the front. Cleared off the line by JT Noon. Daru will get it out. 3 minutes and counting. 30 seconds left on the penalty kill. Now Forbes will take it out. The crowd urging them to finish off this opportunity.
And I think they got to play with a little bit more urgency here during this opportunity of being on 2 men up right now with the 6-man attacker.
Forbes wide to Millwood. 10 seconds and counting left on the penalty. Bo. Millwood shot wide. 1 second left on the penalty. As Healy will be able to jump out once Vanzella throws this. And there he jumps out. It's killed, and now a foul on the far side. The Knights will have to defend this free kick. Back to Vanzella. Holding. The blast. Probing, and they have a wild pass in. Going into the boards, it was Mangione. Bernardo Forbes. Now, less than 2 minutes to go in the game. In for Neto. Left-footed shot blocked away. Far side for Santana. Off the boards and in front, blocked away on the Neto chance. Looking land again. Less than 1:30 to go. In for Neto. He tried to turn and fire.
Another block there by Mangione. Donatelli had one earlier as well. Good defense by the Baltimore Blast.
It's been impressive all day.
Playoff Baltimore Blast are a lot different than the regular season Baltimore Blast. And the regular season Baltimore Blast have 17 out of 20 wins.
They just get tougher once the season begins. The Knights just in their first playoff excursion.
And again, we talked about it earlier. There's 14 players that played in the playoffs last year for the Baltimore Blast that won the MISL championship. And the Silver Knights have one who was part of the Baltimore Blast team, and that's Michelle Millwood.
4 of that 14 troop by the Blast won multiple championships too. A shot in through the legs of a defender and deflected away by Knights. Long shot ahead and in. Wow, that's accuracy. And the 3-point goal just adds to Syracuse's frustration. 18 seconds to go. The Knights are down by 13.
And really, it was, you had the 6-man attacker. Bernardo Forbes did everything he could do to try to get back.
Did you say over?
When that ball bounced
Nothing
out
is
like
over
that,
until we decide it is.
Well.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Right to Donatelli.
Hell no!
Donatelli had all the time in the world.
Forget it, he's rolling.
That over performance by the Baltimore Blast tonight, and definitely not the best by the Silver Knights. Too many giveaways out of the back. Brian O'Quinn not having his best match with the ball at his feet. Pretty good at shot stopping. And then Vanzella was just on early on with a lot of the stopping a lot of shots. So Just really a lot of things went Baltimore's way, but you got to give it to them. I'm not saying it went their way because they didn't work for it. They earned it big time.
That's that. Game 1 goes to Baltimore. After 60 minutes of soccer, the Blast take it 20-7, and it was a virtuoso performance by Baltimore.
Yeah, and you can't talk enough about the performance of Detto Neto. I mean, he was just phenomenal for the Baltimore Blast tonight. 2 goals, 2 assists, and just the way you could see when they knock it into him as a target, holding the ball, holding the man off, looking, and he had 2 assists. He could have easily had 4. The ball he left to Looking Land, and the other ball to, I believe it was DeSantos, or Gonzaga, one of the 2. But it was just phenomenal play by Neto. Best I've seen him play in a very long time, and that's the Neto that this league has come to know, and that's why he has been MISL Playoff Player of the Year or Player of the Year several times. So great performance by Neto tonight.
And so after Game 1, the Blast take a 1-0 series advantage. Heading into Game 2, you have to wipe this slate clean and start anew if you're Coach Tommy Tanner, right?
Yeah, now you got to travel into Baltimore and do something that you haven't done before, and that's except for one time, and that's go and beat the Baltimore Blast on their turf. And that's a very tough thing to do for almost anybody. So they only lose 1 game a season on their home turf. 9-1 this year, and I believe 9-1 last year. I'm sorry, 12-5 last year. I think if my stats are right. So just phenomenal at home, and you're surprised that they lost 5 games last year. But losing 1 game this year to Milwaukee, that's the only game they've lost at home. And now Tommy Tanner has to go there, bring the Silver Knights in there, and beat them twice in 2 games, back-to-back.
It would have to be a full game effort in Game 2 in Baltimore, and then they'd have to force it to that 15-minute mini game after the completion of Game 2 if they are to move on to the championship game.
And that's always tough. I mean, if you could beat the Baltimore Blast in that second game of this series and go to that playoff, you've got the momentum, and really the Baltimore Blast would be in an uphill battle, but still they're at home. They've got the experience. They've been in that situation before where the Silver Knights haven't, where you only have 15 minutes to really prove yourself. Anything can really happen, but I'd still give that to Baltimore.
The winner of this series will take on the winner of the Milwaukee Wave and Missouri Comets semifinal. Looks to be a good one. After Game 1 of this semifinal round between the Syracuse Silver Knights, Baltimore Blast take a 1-0 series lead, taking the game 20-7 behind the performance of Detto Neto, who had 2 goals and an assist, joined by Lucas Roque, who also joined him with 2 goals. The next game will be played in Baltimore on Tuesday at 7:30. You can check that game out on the Baltimore Blast YouTube page. If we are to return to Syracuse, it would have to be in the championship game, and the Knights would have to beat the Baltimore Blast in Game 2 and that 15-minute mini game after that match's completion. Signing off here from Syracuse, New York. The Blast taking the game 20-7. I'm John Paul Chunga for my broadcast partner Mike Kerps. Till next time, bye for now.